Hey guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lew. Coming to you live from Studio 700 at Revitalize Life Fitness and Life Coaching. Coach Lew will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the body, the energy, and success you deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lew.
Wow, I'll tell you what, guys, can't get enough of that introduction in the morning. What an amazing artist created that for our intro. Just great. You can't follow up with something like that and go, okay, guys, good morning. You come out the box going, yes, we are on fire and ready to rock. So to recap, last week, I asked you to figure out, who are you? Who are you really? We went back and researched into ourselves and found out what occurred, especially over the last year. How much did we shrink back, cower down, and, pull our personalities back because, well, you can't smile under a mask. You're afraid of everybody. You're afraid of everything. You're afraid to turn the TV on. You're angry at your neighbor because of, whose political sign they have in the yard. You're angry at this person because of the color of their skin, or you're angry at that person because you feel they're holding you back, or all this anger came forth in 2020 that was really promulgated from a media frenzy and a political frenzy. And then a lot of y'all lost who you were. Some of the most kind, compassionate, caring people just got rough around the edges, didn't care. Some of the hardest working people sat back and collected unemployment checks and thought that was better because they made more sitting at home gaining weight than they did going to work. And, in some cases, people were forced. We're blessed here in Florida that we've got a great governor who, you may or may not always agree with him, you may or may not love him, but he knows how to keep our state going and alive. So a lot of people reverted to something or turned into something that they don't like. If you look in the mirror and you go, this isn't me, or you listen to things you say and go, this isn't me, or that wasn't me, hopefully next week you broke through, or last week you broke next week. We're going to break through something else next week. See, I'm not perfect, guys. Maybe, you've broken through that last week, or maybe you're still teetering on it going, I just wish I could be who I used to be, or have a personality, or not be so down. Well, it happens. No, am I going to tell you through 2020 that there were never days I was down or angry or pissed or irritated? But the one thing I found out, the less I participated in arguing about stuff that really, I don't want to say doesn't matter, but really couldn't be handled on a Facebook argument. We're not going to change the world on a Facebook argument. You can change the world by putting something on Facebook that inspires people, or whatever social media. You're not going to change the world by walking through the grocery store looking at people like they're your enemy. You're going to change the world even if you believe you need to wear a mask, if you can look at them. You know the difference. Or you can see the difference when somebody's smiling right in their eyes. Yes. So my whole point to this being is it's time to decide today. This is the fun part. Who you really want to be, right? It's not who you could be or who you're told you were supposed to be. Mom, dad, brother, sister, wife, husband, kids. Who are they to tell you who you are? Okay? You got to love them. You got to love your family, but you don't have to agree with them, right? So, and maybe your family's great and supportive. If that's the case, agree with them and run rock and roll with that. But usually there's one or two in a family, the naysayers. Are, you're not smart enough. You didn't grow up on the right side of the tracks. You didn't, you didn't have the same education. We had a dysfunctional family, unlike the Smiths around the corner. Stuff like that you go, huh? Yeah, maybe so and so's right. I don't have the same opportunity, or I'm not this, or I wasn't that. BS, and that means belief system. That's what drives you. And that's what's going to continue to drive you throughout the whole process of what we're going to do today, what we're going to do next week, what we're going to do next month. So last week you may have faced some tough realizations, but found that part of you still believes. That was what last week was about. It was about getting you to go, yeah, I'm not happy with where I'm at. I'm not happy with who I'm displaying myself to be right now. Maybe you are. Maybe you're at the best point in your life and things are going great. But they could always be better, right? So hang in with me if you're that person. But if you're that other person that goes, you know what, I had to swallow some jagged little pill here about myself and about what I've become, but a part of me still believes that this is all possible. So last week we learned how to regain our power of our personality, because that's what it's all about. I mean, you may or may not meld with my personality because I feel alive and ready to go. Do I just automatically wake up that way? No, I have procedures and processes that get me into the right state. I don't just wake up and go, yay. I do wake up and pray and thank God I'm here another day to be able to try to make a difference in this world. But, I don't come out of bed like, oh, everything's okay. It's all Pollyanna. No, we have challenges we face every day, including me. I got a lot of stress on me. I was talking to Jen last night, and she goes, well, you do have about 10 things you're balancing at any one given time. And I was like, oh, yeah, that might be why I forget little things here and there, and why you need a strong team. But that's a training for a different day. So you learned how to regain that personality last week, right? And how to get back to the greatness inside of you, and how to use it going forward to grow. It's not the greatness outside where you go, ooh, look at me, ooh, ooh, ooh. I hope you guys appreciate some of the humor and fun here. But, it is, we've all seen that. You go in the gym and there's a guy, look at me in the mirror. And then there's the guy who's 150 pounds overweight and they're struggling in the corner, but he's giving it his all when the other guy's looking around going, who's watching me? Maybe there's a different driver there. And it doesn't mean the guy who's posing is a bad guy. Maybe he's insecure and needs people to look at him. Where the other guy in the corner's going, if I don't get this weight off me, I'm going to die. So you've always got to look and go, what drives the person? And I don't pick on people. I'm not trying to pick on somebody for success, especially if you're the best built guy in the gym. You obviously did something to get there. But it's how you let that work with your personality. Do you do it in a way, do you walk in a way where people go, dang, you inspire me, dude? Or do you walk in a way where people feel like, oh, God, I'm just noodle arms compared to that guy? I got a story for you. And this wasn't a planned story for this morning, so bear with me. Out on the trails running one day. And I think I'm pretty hot shit out there. Just not, oh, look at me, but I put my all in, I set goals, I push it. And even in the summer heat and, 98 degrees and 98% humidity in August, I'm out there running 8 to 10 miles sometimes. And, so I feel good about myself. The hot shit thing, that was just catch your attention. But you know what I mean? I feel really good that I'm out there doing that. And this guy comes prancing past me. Anybody remember Kronk from Emperor's New Groove? Well, Kronk was on the trail. Body like this, just boom, 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 boom. You could hear the music playing as he's running barefoot on these trails, okay? I hurt my feet sometimes on these trails with shoes on. And I'm going, well, I really kind of feel like I'm getting shown up here a little bit, So I'm like running a little harder. And I get done. And I'm getting in my truck. And there's a picnic table by the trailhead entrance. So you got to picture this. Well, Mr. Kronk here is jumping up, doing a plyo onto the picnic table, jumping back down, doing a burpee, and he's doing picnic table burpees, still with no shoes on. And I drove off and I said, I feel like an absolute scrawny little runt at the moment. And I was kind of like, what a ham, what a showman that is. And I was like, woo, stop right there. And I had to literally stop myself and stopped in the parking lot and looked back over. And I was like, what does it take to get your body in that kind of shape to be able to do that kind of activity with that kind of energy, what does it really take? And I was like, oh, obviously more than I'm willing to do. What a boom, light switch turned on. And I was like, the difference between him and I is I'm not willing to go out there and run without my shoes. I'm not willing to take the chance of busting my face on the picnic table to do picnic table burpees. But I also realized if that was my goal and I put in the effort and did the steps, I could do that too. So my goals are a little different possibly. I'm not sure what, I really should have gone and talked to this individual, and it would have made a great interview for the show, because that is the level of outstanding in what he was doing. Was it my level of outstanding? Maybe not exactly at that extreme. I like my, 8 to 10 mile runs, and I love what I do. And there's other facets to what I do. But, I looked at that and I thought, well, is that the way somebody feels about me when, all right, I'm going to follow that up with another story. So one day I'm tooling along running the trails. And, some days the bike guys on the trails and us runners, we get along great. Other times there's a little bit of, they think it's that they should have the right of way on the trail. And I always step aside, do the proper things so that people don't collide or get in accidents. But, once in a while you get the ones with attitude, and other times you got, really cool people you meet out there. So I'm tooling off the trail, and, there was this group of like 6 guys that were riding the trails, and one of them says to me, "My God, this is an amazing trail, but you were really rocking it out there." And I'm like, "Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, it was a good run, thanks." And he said, "I guess my 2 wheels is better than nothing." And, he had kind of a belly on him. And then he says, "I'd be ripped like you." And this is after I've, been feeling like, I'm Mr. Scrawny compared to Mr. Kronk there. "I'd be ripped like you if I ran like that too." And then he told me about some other trails that they run up in, the Flagler area and all kinds of cool stuff. And, it was a great interaction of sportsmen. But I was like, ripped like me? I walked off feeling like $1 million. I thought you would have thought I was Mr. Kronk, Mr. V there. And I was like, see, the difference was my initial kind of, I don't know, maybe even jealousy of Mr. Kronk, going, "Who the hell do you think you are?" And then having somebody, instead of me, and initially, and I did, that's why I stopped myself in that interaction. But initially I was kind of like, and then I went to, "Oh, what does it really take to do that? Wow, that's amazing." To feeling like $1 million because somebody else, instead of going, "Must be nice," or this or that, gave a genuine compliment that made me feel like $1 million, going, "Yeah, I guess this does pay off." Somebody does look at me and go, "Oh, wow, I'd like to be in the condition you're in." And I was like, wow, what a learning lesson. So that was a shift for me to go, you know what, how can I, when I'm dealing with somebody else, how can I make them walk away feeling like $1 million instead of walking away feeling like crap, no matter where they're at in life and what level? And that's where this all comes in. So the cool thing is, enough stories for you. Now we're going to get down to the rubber meeting the road here, or the sneakers meeting the ground, whatever you want to call it. Now's the time to get to pick who you want to be. No, not who you told you're supposed to be. Again, not who others think you should be, but the person you really are. It's your choice. Do you want to play small and feel like your dreams are not really ever going to happen, or you're not worthy, or you're not that kind of person? Or are you going to be the one that takes action, steps up, and does it for real this time, and goes, "Yes, I did this"? Now, I'm not saying just decide and it magically happens. Okay, we're not going to go, "I want $1 million and it's going to fall out of the sky for you." It's not happening. But you step up and go after it with the energy, like you want it, as bad as you want to breathe, as bad as you want to survive, as bad as you would protect your family. Wow. Now it is your time to decide and take action. Okay? Once you're in that state, you're there. You decide, you make the decision. Decision, in its Latin root, means cut off from. You cut off from any other possibility but success. Does it mean you're going to just have smooth sailing? Hell no. We all know the closer you get to success, the more you're going to get pushed back. When you're getting the most resistance in life, guys, you are the closest to a goal. You are the closest to getting your accomplishment. You know, you all know, and if you don't, go search it out, find it on the site, because you'll learn a lot in the process with the videos you got to watch. But the story of my phone from years ago, that is just, it's very dear to my heart, but it taught me the lifelong lesson. There's going to be peaks, valleys, but would you rather have a life that has meaning than come and go and never have an effect, or, you know, here today, gone tomorrow, and nobody even notices? My God, that happens all the frickin' time. You know, somebody's like, oh, did you hear so-and-so died? Oh, yeah, that's sad. And you go, it's very rare that we go, huh, what if, you know, that person really affected my life? Wow, how I grew, and, you know, what a great gift. When somebody passes away and you go, man, they really gave me something that's part of me now. They never really truly die in your eyes and in your heart. You know, when somebody dies and they really didn't have an effect, or you kind of really didn't even like them, or, you know, it's kind of an empty feeling of, oh, I'm sorry. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person that somebody goes, you know what, you're a part of me. Something you said to me one day, something you did for me when I was down and you reached out a hand, or something you said to me that inspired something to happen. That's what we're talking about. That's the person you want to be long after you leave this earth. So you're ready for a quick course in the life you deserve? I know you're going, hey, you're anything but quick this morning, Coach, because you're talkative. Well, I want you to get this. I want this ingrained, guys. I want you to get it in your soul so we can start living again. You know, I can't do this all on my own. I can't be the only one going, all right, I'm going to bust through this and start really turning it back on. You need to be there too. You need to be with me on this. I need help. Only one little old guy. Yeah, maybe not little and not old. How's that? So step one is decide specifically who you want to become. Be specific, quantifiable, concise. What is your mission? You know, you can do this while we're talking today. You can actually write these down. Decide, who is it? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be an okay dad? You know, a pretty good dad, a good man, or do you want to be the best dad ever? Do you want to be the best coach ever, or do you want to be, I'm a guy who helps a few people out? What do you want to be? Do you want to be the biggest and best? And that does not mean that it's always quantifiable by income only. At the end of the day, how satisfied are you with who and what you are? What is the real you? You might say, well, I'm a car salesman. Okay, I love cars. That's why I'm in the business. So, okay, great. So maybe you grew up loving muscle cars and you're selling Toyota Corollas now. Are you really fulfilling your dream? Are you really living it? And you might say, well, I need that to support my family, and I do enjoy it, and I like that career path. Could you take it up as a hobby and, you know, rehab an old car on the side in the garage, and, you know, really turn that passion, you know, maybe even just as a hobby, because it's what you love, and you look at an old GTO or something and go, oh. And some people that's not. Some people would be like, well, it's an old piece of junk. So, you know, it's not being like everybody else. It's being congruent with who you are, who you really are. You know, some people say, well, I'm not going to get on camera and be bah, 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 like you, Coach. And, you know, I'm mild. You compared to like a Tony Robbins, you go to a Tony Robbins event, trust me, I'm mild. As far as, you know, this energy, but this is my level of comfort right here. You know, I'm not, you know, and then you go to some events where people are like teaching and they're like, no, it is wise for you to make an investment. No, God, no, that'll never be me either. You know, I don't care how intelligent you are. If you can't deliver your intelligence or your love or your caring or your energy or your leadership, whatever the word is, whatever you're after, if you can't deliver that with energy, you're not going to be the best at what you do. Think about it. If you're, you know, if I came to you and said, hey guys, I have a plan for your year, your next 6 months, and it's going to improve your life dramatically because you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to go, give me a pillow, I want to take a freaking nap. Okay? So, but if I come in and go, I'm just going to change your stuff, yeah, just say it, just praise, the universe. No, praise God, yes, that's a good start. You know what I'm saying? But there are people that walk around and go, the universe will give to me if I ask. Okay, the first step of anything is asking, knowing what you're looking for, whether you pray to God, whether you believe the universe is your God, or however you call God. The idea, that is step one. The belief there too is important, but you got to do something. So here's where we get into the next step. Step two is make a plan for your year, 6 month, month, weekly, and the daily habits you'll need. Your year's goals, 6 months, month, weekly goals, and the daily habits that you need. See, goals are the larger chunks that you're going after to accomplish. Okay, when I hit here, I know I'm on target in a month. If you want to make $12,000 extra this year, you must make $1,000 more a month. Every month, your target is at least 1,000 more. And hopefully your goals are more lofty than that. I'm trying to keep it simple for math. The daily habits are a different story. What do you need to do every day to make that extra 100? Let's break it down super easy. Maybe you're making $10 an hour at a second job and you need to make that extra 100. Or yeah, whatever. I think my math is off. So you got to work 10 more hours a day. So probably find better ways to make money. But you hear where I'm going on that. So quantifying that down, but the habits are what you need to do daily. The goals are the weekly, monthly, 6 month, and a year, and then on out from there. So once you have this, habits are in place, you're going to hit your goals more on autopilot. Step three, though, is measuring, monitoring, and adjusting as you go. If you need $3,000 more this month, let's do that one because it's easier for me to do the math. That means you need to make $100 extra per day. So each habit, each day, okay, I made a plan. If I get up and I do this for the first 2 hours of the day, that'll make me an extra 100 each day. How does that sound? A little more exciting than working 10 extra hours a day, right? So you do that. You got to do that every day. But then at the end of the week, you measure and you go, oh, wow, check it out. I actually am ahead. I'm at 1,000 for the week and I only need to be at 7 and change for the week. All right, great. I'm doing good, but let that momentum push you for more. If you're at 700, you better step it up. What do I need to do next week? Because next week needs to be 13 to offset that. Just to give you some quantifiable examples. I know they're simplistic. I know they're kind of silly, but you've got to measure, monitor, and adjust. Does this sound familiar to you as any steps that we take like in goal setting and all that? But remember, so importantly, it's the journey that you're on that creates who you become. If you go, I want to make $1 million, and you go buy a lottery ticket and you win $1 million, wow, kudos. Please give me those numbers. That would be an amazing little surprise for the day. And you might go, amazing little surprise. Yeah, because that's not going to create long-lasting character in you. If you decide you're going after $1 million and you do what it takes this year and you hit $990,000 and you have put your blood and guts into it and grown and learned all kinds of new distinctions and connected with new people and created something that benefits people and you and society and everything else, wow. Who's different a year from today? The person that took all year to bust into that goal and came really close and missed by maybe 10,000 out of $1 million. Are they a failure? I wouldn't say so. The person who won the lotto, are they any better? They might have a better car. They might have a better home. You might even find they're depressed unless they've turned that money into something that gives them drive. And that could be somebody could win $1 million and open up the charity they've always wanted to, or get their kids through school. I'm not saying that wouldn't happen, but the $1 million coming from a lotto ticket, the $1 million coming from grit and work and passion, how different? Let me get up here where you can see me. How different do you think the life is of the person that put in the effort and learned and grew as compared to the person it was handed to? How different are they a year out? Guys, I'm telling you, it really matters who you become and how it affects others in the world in general. What you do goes on beyond you, way beyond you. And that's where growing as a person and contributing and learning and all the great stuff that goes along with that makes such a difference. So let me ask you, if you were facing God tomorrow, would you be ashamed of how you've lived your life today, yesterday, last week, last year? Would you make excuses if he said, what'd you do with this grand life I gave you? Tell me about it. Well, I kind of got through it, and I did okay as a dad, and I did all right financially. We had a car and a half and a little white picket fence in the suburbs, and I'm sure I did my job. Or would you tell him how grateful for the amazing journey? You might say, God, I was knocked to the ground and I got back up on my feet and I fought through and I prayed and I worked hard and I implemented and I helped people along the way and I built something that provided jobs and provided safe haven and whatever it is that you built and grew. And how different is that than, well, I worked and, had a couple of kids, 3 kids, 2 of them turned out okay, they're okay. Or, man, I got some kids and they are great. They were little hellions at times, but my God, did they come out great. So you have 2 choices today. And bear with me on this. We're getting close. We're going to wind it up soon. I realize we're getting close on the wire here. We're going to go over. Let's face it. So you have 2 choices. Stay in the mediocre, at best, lifestyle. Play small. Hey, you'll be safe. And if you're lucky, you'll have a fairly good life. Is that really the way you want to spend life? Mediocre, fairly good, okay, or kind of even crappy maybe? Or guilty because you didn't do it, or you wished you had, or you felt left behind, or, there's a million wah-wahs there. Or number 2, you want to step up today. Live that life that you can be proud of. It's a life of meaning, a life full of experiences, some great, some challenging. Take it from me. We've been there, done that. And there's been plenty of challenging, and there's been plenty of great. What there hasn't been is a ton of mediocre. Maybe in 2020 there was some mediocre times and, here and there, but, that's not what I've ever been after. I don't want mediocre. Mediocre, bleh. I can handle the tough times and the challenges, and I really like the great times and the rewards. So before you take this choice of how you're going to live, let's take a little journey. Number 1, stand up a second, drop your shoulders, go into 2020 mindset. I hate to pick on 2020 because there's a lot of growth in it, but let me get this smile off my face here. Drop your shoulders and go, yeah, well, we're in a new world now. I guess it's the way it is. We don't have a choice, and things, you know how it is. It's going to happen, and we have no control. And I guess just work from home, and it'll be okay. And the kids have homeschool. And it's just, it is what it is. What's your life like in a year with that kind of attitude? A year from now, you're upset. You're angry all the time because, your job went away and this is different and the kids are around your neck all day long and, you hate those freaking masks and you're so afraid that you're going to get something and die if you go out in public that you just stay home and you don't do anything and, you text somebody once in a while, what's up? Not much. How about you? COVID's killing the world. How's your life look in 5 years if we stay in the state that we may have been in? I'm not saying you are, but how's it changed? Yep. All right, let me get up and do this show, and maybe I'll be late, and maybe I won't even do it this week. Nobody really cares anyway. And, how do you think that would affect my outcome for you? Snap out of it. Good thing is that hasn't happened yet. You got a choice today, tomorrow, this week, this month, this year to turn it around to be the life you want. Now, am I going to tell you that there's not going to be stupid things that are going to happen in the media, the government, the way people behave? Are you going to be judged because you're in a good mood, or you choose to wear a mask or not wear a mask, or choose to not get this crazy vaccination that hasn't been tested? And, are you going to just go along and say, well, I got to? I don't know. It's up to you. It's your choice. But if you do turn it around and you go, you know what, I'm going to get up every morning and I'm going to look for the best of the day. I'm going to set these goals. I'm going to set these habits in order, and I am going to follow through. I put on 20 COVID pounds or 30 COVID pounds or whatever the case might have been. Or, I lost muscle tone, or I didn't get to do this, or I did that. Or are you going to say, you know what, I'm going for it. Okay, well, I don't want to go to my gym. I'm afraid. Okay, that is your prerogative if you really are afraid that you're going to catch something and die from the gym, rather than going through McDonald's every day and smoking a cigarette and stuff. Let's face it, what's going to kill you faster? What's going to kill you slower? What's going to guarantee to kill you? If you smoke, it's guaranteed it's going to kill you at some point. So, but going out of your house and going for a run outdoors is probably not going to kill you unless you walk in front of a bus, or you have an underlying heart condition, whatever the case is. But you know what I'm talking about here, guys. What if you do turn this all around? What if you create the daily habit? You get up in the morning, you have prayer time or meditation time, whatever you call it. You get up early enough to have a healthy, good breakfast. You have time to plan your day. And you start out and you go, you know what, I'm going to do something I want. And then you might go, Coach, I got to go to this job I don't like. I got to pay the bills. Okay, so you work there 8-10 hours a day, probably 10 hours a day is the new work day. But what do you do with the other hours of your day? Well, sleep 6, work 10, that's 16. You got 8 hours, you got another full shift. You can be working on your business, your project, your mastermind, your teaching skills, your body, all this stuff. You got the time is there. Okay? Because 2020 was a classic example of time. You handed people a bunch of time and a lot of people a bunch of checks for doing nothing, and they got fat. Call it what it is. And I don't judge you by your size or what the scale says. But if you got fat during a time when you didn't have to work and you still had income and you could have been working on your body, shame on you. And you might go, hey, I'm ready to change now. All right, kudos, let's go. Forget about that. That's the whole thing. Everybody's like walking around going, well, I did this and I did that because of, and that. Well, okay, you did it. Can't change what you did yesterday. Let's start now. Step up right here and now. What if you change all this? What if you wake up every morning going, you know what, I do have a personality. I'm funny. I'm a pretty funny guy. Maybe you're not funny. Maybe you're really strong leader and people, are looking for somebody to follow, and you have great presence. Okay, be that. I'm not telling you to be, hey, everybody, it's all great. Hey, we're not Bozo the Clown. Maybe you're the one that comes in and goes, let's go kick ass. Or, you're motivating a sports team because you're a sports coach. And you might be going, I'm anything but a sports coach. I'm just an accountant. I'm only an accountant or something. What do you mean you're only an accountant? You can make or break the people that you're doing the accounting for by not only preparing some paperwork for them and handing it to them. They go, okay, what does that mean? By making them understand the real intrinsic side of business of what they're really after and why profit is a theory and all this stuff. Boom, you can be an educator. You can be an accountant on steroids. An accountant doesn't need to be somebody who's dweeby and quiet and just, goes, okay, here you go. You can be somebody who's cutting edge and teaching your clients. Oh my God, what a difference. How different will your clients be? How different will your client base be if you go from being a very dry, okay, I'm doing your taxes, cookie cutter accountant, to somebody that's educating your business owners, educating your low income families who are going, I don't know how we're going to make it. Well, let's, here's a little plan to get out of debt here. It might take some time. What a difference you could be. It doesn't matter if you're the leader, CEO of a company, you're the coach of a football team, or you're the local around the corner accountant. You can change what you do into being amazing rather than being average or downtrodden. It doesn't matter. You might say, well, I'm just a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad. You're affecting the lives of a child or lives of children. I'm just a teacher. Oh my God, if we had, we might not have some of the problems we have in society today if we had teachers that really did it from the heart and we paid them accordingly. You notice I'm not putting that the other way around. I'm not saying pay them more for the job they've been doing. Now, there's still some amazing teachers, but there's been a major decline in the quality of teaching. I would love to see teachers get paid more because they're doing what they're supposed to do, educating children, teaching children about social skills. Sit down and shut up doesn't cut it. Text your friend doesn't cut it. You need to get the kids out and they need to play. Go play in the, put the phones down for a minute. And I'm not saying be old fashioned and, we're going back to Leave It to Beaver days. I am saying we need everybody to step up. Me, you, yes, me. I'm not nearly where I want to be. Okay? I'm a whole lot further ahead than I used to be. I'm loving what I'm doing, but I'm not, my end game isn't close. No, I'm still in the making too, guys. So what I'm saying is if everybody showed up, no matter what your job is right now, no matter what position you are in life, if you showed up with this new you and this personality that won't be stopped, that shows through. Doesn't mean you're loud and boisterous necessarily. Maybe you are. What it does mean is that when you connect with somebody else, your presence does something positive and great for you and them, no matter where you're at in life. So answer me this. Who do you want to be? Who are you right now? Are they congruent? Or is there the I want to be and then what I really am? What I really am? What I want to be? How about what I want to be and I am becoming? See the difference? This is who I am. This is what I want to be. This is who I'm becoming. Becoming has action. Watch the body language, guys. Watch the facial expressions in people and you'll know where they're at. Are they really who they want to be? Yes. Because wherever you want to be is where you will land. Now you might say, I want to be a millionaire and I got $10 in my pocket. You can be. And you're not, unless you win that winning lotto, it may not happen tomorrow. But you can set it in the stage where you know what you need to make tomorrow to be a millionaire in 5 years. You know what you need to do on those daily habits to get to the weekly, monthly, semi-annual, and annual goals to get there. That's the difference. We all know we want more. If you don't want more, you're probably about done on earth because God expects, or however you call your creator, and I think we all got to agree that we may call God by different names here and there, but this didn't all happen by accident. Me? I think I'm a pretty cool invention from God. You? I think you're a pretty cool invention of God too. Or however I don't think it was an exploding rock that created us. Now, I know there's a few people that believe that. And, I have to respect whatever you believe. But come on, you hold a brand new baby, that's a miracle. By whatever name you call it, that is a miracle when a baby comes into this earth and into this world. So, who are you going to be? From here on out, it's your choice. Doesn't mean you're not going to have to work at it. Doesn't mean you're going to have good days every day. And who wants good days anyway? I'd rather have outstanding days or major growth days. See, even a bad day could be a major growth day. Does that make it a good day? Probably. A good day can be a major growth day. That makes it an excellent or amazing day. Probably rather have more of those and a whole lot less of the bad days or the major growth, forced growth days. Why don't we call those forced growth as opposed to choosing growth days? Choosing growth days can be great. Forced growth days can hurt a little, but they do give you the end result, growth. It's what this is all about, guys. So what does the new you look like? Write it down, define it, live it. How do you get there? Set some goals and then create some daily habits. really isn't that hard. It just takes effort. And sometimes people say, I teach in our health eating and lifestyle simplified workshop a breathing exercise. And people are like, oh God, I got to do something else. I said, you fucking breathe every day anyway. You're breathing anyway. Change your breathing patterns 3 or 4 times a day. It'll energize you. You're going to breathe anyway. It's not like the world stops while you breathe. Okay? So you notice that I get very passionate about some of this stuff. And I'm way over time this morning, being respectful of your time. Our streaming and everything else, that's what we pay for. But I want to be respectful of your time this morning, guys. I'm going to be announcing, and we're working on this, a really in-depth goal-setting workshop, health eating and lifestyle simplified workshop coming up. Setting the dates today. Watch for them because they're going to be great. In the meantime, we can do one-on-one coaching. We can do it on Zoom if you're not in the area. If you're not comfortable coming in, direct interaction, we can do it on the internet. By the way, so I do have to acknowledge something. You might be saying, great coach, I'm pumped up, I'm ready to go, but it's not the same. Like one of my things, one last story for you, is I would, we have these cards, bigger than this, but we'd have cards with the businesses on them, and I would literally walk into local businesses and introduce myself, and not like a salesman, just go in and say, hey guys, I want to just let you know what we're doing in the community. Love you to take a look. Nice to meet you, boom, 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 boom. And if they were interested, I'd answer more questions. If they were super busy, I was respectful that I'm in their place of business. And, it got a lot of community contact. Well, not a lot of people want you just marching in their offices in the past year. People get weird about that. And, I don't want to take something you touched. And I'm like, So more digital advertising, more digital marketing, and etc. Well, same thing with this, and we're all kind of feeling the bite of this. I feel the bite of it. I can't, I can, but a lot of people don't want to come pack in a room for an all-day seminar with me. Same thing with, Tony, Dean, everybody's had to go, okay, some virtual stuff until we get this sorted out. The virtual and the live and this type of connection is going to skyrocket. There is going to be more of it. That is a change that we've all been going after a lot anyway. That's what, we kind of get PO'd about some of this stuff, but in all reality, we're going a lot more digital with a lot of stuff. But it has to be hands-on digital. Not just, oh, look at me, look at me. It has to be stuff that makes you take action. But don't forget, you also got to interact with live human beings. That is a God-given need or a primal need, whatever it is. Love and connection is a need that you need. You can't survive without some sort of love and connection. That's why babies will die from failure to thrive if nobody, if they're not loved on. You can put them in a little bed and say, here, kid, here's some food. And chances are that baby will not make it for the first few weeks of their life. So on that note, I'm going to leave you with, we are babies right now in our new journey. You're a brand new baby because today's a brand new day, brand new week, and it is time to step up and decide who you want to be. Take action and create who you want to be. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. Some people are going, well, I like who I am. I don't want to change who I am. I am a great person. Then let it out and shine. Do something amazing with your life because you only get one of them. And guys, this isn't a dress rehearsal. We don't come back for a second roundabout. You're here once. Make it a freaking masterpiece because, and I don't know what that means to you. I don't know what the masterpiece is for you, but whatever it is, define it, live it, be it, share it, and enjoy the ever-living heck out of it, guys. Because life is really here to be enjoyed, even in the good, the bad, and everything in between. God didn't create us to suffer and be miserable. There are times we need suffering and so forth to grow. And I got a belief about that. And again, using God as an example doesn't exactly resonate with you. Word it however you want. But I think that God really gave us the unique ability to be limitless, no matter what your situation. And the question is, do you want to be, like we were talking about, if you saw the pre-roll earlier, do you want to be number 4? Thanks for coming. Are you okay with bronze? Hey, bronze is pretty damn good. You're better than most of the world. What about silver? Silver's pretty damn good. Gold, number 1, gold. Wow, now that is that's the excellence. We mean excellence. I thought, Coach, you always talk about outstanding. Yeah, that's platinum, baby. Think platinum. There should be 4 levels to the Olympics. There should be 4 levels to every win, because there should be the platinum, which is the absolute excellence. That person that gives just that much more, that 1/10 of a second win in a race, that, whatever it is, that little edge, that's what we're looking for here. This is who I want you to be able to become. The platinum level that's just that much better than everything else and everybody else. And it doesn't mean that you're better than. It means that you give just that much more. Make sense? Shake on it. Shake on it. High five. Virtual high fives. Guys, I am going to let you go because I just got a glimpse of the clock and I know you're going, shut up, Coach. No, seriously, what I want you to do is be able to get out, take some time today on your lunch break, whatever it is, go through this again and run through the exercise. Make it happen. After lunch, I want you to be the person you really want to be. Before lunch, get in preparation mode of that. But after lunch today, I want you to at least have it defined as to who you really want to be and how you're going to get there. All right, live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dream, guys. It's Coach Lew signing off. Until next time.